My main focus is both in class actions and public law, and my attention came to the latter probably as I started university in political science. And following that, although I did 1 year, I was still a political buff, and so as I moved on to law school, I started being really extremely interested in constitutional law and international law mainly. I also have a big practice in class action law, where I generally act on the defense side for a variety of clients, both in Consumer Protection Act, for example, or Competition Act class actions. And I came to that really because of contacts at the office who introduced me to it. And it's a fun practice because I get to practice with people from other law firms as well in defense. So we get to work with people from the other firms and learn from them as well as from the people from my own firm. So it's a very interesting practice. One of my mentors is Guy Dupont, who in my mind is probably one of the greatest appellate lawyers in Canada. And I learned how to develop and explain arguments with him, working on factums days and nights, several days in a boardroom with him, just spinning argument, writing dozens of versions of a factum to come to what we considered a polished diamond. And then I got to see him plead in Supreme Court on several occasions, and how he prepared as well, and how he behaved, and how he was professional about it. And I sort of sought to emulate that in my practice. Another part that is really appreciated, I think, from client is something that comes from Lucien Bouchard, the former Premier of Quebec, with whom I work quite a bit. And that's, I would say, strategy, but mostly like political savvy and public relations savvy. A lot of the files that I work on are very political and public. And so we always have to take that into consideration without putting the client's interests in jeopardy before the courts. There is still a certain reality out there that they have to be seen in the public eye in a certain way. And so I think I now bring that to them, since I've learned from him, whom I consider to be the best in the business for that. The other field in which I do volunteer work is completely unrelated to my profession. And it stems from a trip that my spouse and I did in Africa in 2009. We spent 4 months in West Africa traveling around. And we spent quite a bit of time in Benin, and my spouse spent 2 more months than me there, and she started establishing relationships there. And a lot of people came to her naturally to say, like, these are our problems, like, do you have effective solutions for that? Can you help us with that? And they were very, very practical problems, and she was thinking, like, there's no way that we cannot help with that, and there's no way that it can hurt either to help with that. And so we started an NGO called Health and Education Now, Santé et Éducation Maintenant, that helps teaching kids about computer skills.